Hey guys, Ethereal Light Art here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel and you like light painting, long exposure photography, or creativity, you're in the right place. Please subscribe and like, share with your artist friends, leave me a comment, I do appreciate them. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Welcome everyone to the season opener of Dude, Where's My Flashlight? We have Iris Shyroii. Hello, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome from Spain. She is a light painting paradise ambassador and a huge inspiration to us, all of us light painters out there. Iris, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm trying to. Can you see me okay?
I can see you better now. Yes, the light is
Okay,
perfect.
okay. I could tell that it was so dark, so I was trying to make this so bright, a little
Yeah.
bit brighter.
If it's too bright for you, it's fine either way. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. So, it's crazy. This quarantine has got us all kind of, locked down, and it's affected us so much. I think you just mentioned to me that Spain just came off quarantine. At least you were able to walk outside.
Step
So,
by step.
yeah, yeah, breathe some fresh air. Here in Oregon, in the United States, especially in Oregon, in our state, it's actually, we are taking a lot of precautions, wearing masks, but we've never been on a lockdown as far as we can go outside. So the whole time it's changed a lot, but it hasn't really affected us as far as going outside, which is where I love to paint in nature. Yeah, I'm just super glad that you guys are actually getting to go outside. I didn't even think that you guys weren't allowed to do that.
No.
Oh,
Just to go to the groceries and so on, but
and
you
that's it.
couldn't go for a walk just like
Yeah,
that. Now
yeah.
we are allowed to do that, but during a certain period of time.
Mhm.
No, we don't have this freedom yet.
Hopefully soon.
Step by step.
You know, the law, we have freedom here, but still, even with that, I can't find people that want to model or that want to light paint with me. How has it affected you and the light painting?
Well, we weren't
Good.
allowed to go outside our houses, so we couldn't meet anyone.
Ah, yeah,
So, well, for me, not going outside wasn't such a big difference because I always work
indoors.
indoors in my home. So, well, here's my background. So that wasn't a problem for me. But the problem was that I couldn't work with models.
Yeah,
We couldn't meet. So I was like,
I know.
I don't know what to do. Oh, man. Yeah, I tried and I did some small stop motions, but nothing as I used to do. And
Yes,
yeah,
and
I miss working with models so much, so
me
much.
too. Yeah, no. If you look at my feed or if you follow my art, you can see that it was model, 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 and then there's like a full section of no models, which
No,
actually
yeah.
has really pushed me into higher levels of creativity, and challenged me as an artist and challenged me as a light painter. And specifically, I found the light painting paradise pencils, which of course we're going to get into. And you of all people have inspired me the most with these. And I've had a lot of time to work on them, and it's producing some interesting results. I miss the models. My partner actually just flew home. We've been actually separated through the quarantine, so I've had about 6-7 weeks on my own, which has been it's been a
Quite
life.
hard.
It's hard, you could try to sugarcoat it or make it sound like it's better than it is, but honestly, it's hard for the world. And I think that this is a good lesson for us to appreciate the ones we love and appreciate the things we love.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, and the love of art, the love of actually creating something when you have some time, not to be so busy with all the other things. I've had some time to actually reflect and grow a little bit, and so that's been good, man. That's been good. Iris, I gotta ask. What got you started painting the birds? Let's talk about birds first. Uh,
How? I really don't know. It just,
happened.
yeah, just like that. I was, before I moved with my boyfriend, we used to meet in a small flat that we used to rent together with some friends. And sometimes when he was maybe playing music or so, I was like, okay, I'm I'm doing some light painting. I always used to have my pen with me, so I only did maybe my phone or anything. And I don't know, maybe let's try a bird, and it just came like that.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. I remember when I saw your little two birds on the edge of the pond, and I think I actually like Painting Paradise, obviously reposted it, and I saw it there, and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so beautiful. And so I guess when we're talking about the birds, do you have like a way to, do you start with the feet? Do you start with the beak? What's your
Yeah,
process?
yeah. The first, the birds, they are freehand,
Yeah.
and I always start with the. I don't know why, but I think it's the easiest way for me. I always start with the eye. I always use my body as a reference. So, okay, it's always like this. Here's the eye, and then I know here should be the I can't remember the name.
The beak?
Beak, the
Yeah.
beak, and after that I do the head, and then I can remember with my body where is everything, or I try to.
Yeah.
The thing that I do, the first thing that I tried to do was to draw the bird like only the outlining, but
Yes.
it was so difficult for me. So that's why I came up with the drawing method that I used.
Yes.
That was like little strokes, because I thought that it was easier to cover the mistakes of the shape of the bird, maybe because, okay, I want to do this, but maybe this line is not so good. So if I do this, this seems like the feathers, and maybe,
Yes.
okay. I don't know if I'm explaining myself properly, but
No, you are, Iris. And honestly, I saw that. It is the bird. I think you were at Festive Photo, which I want to talk to about in a minute, but it was the one displayed and it had a bunch of little marks. And that's a beautiful technique. And it actually it's inspired me to actually do something similar in the feather pattern. Maybe not the full bird, but the feather pattern. It really, really looks nice. And it's interesting as you keep doing these, you find little techniques that actually cover up your mistakes a little better. In the beginning, I used to see my feet a lot. I used to forget about my feet, like behind a tube spin. If you don't have a long dress on the model, or if your model's a male and he doesn't have a dress on, you have to be really careful not to be seen in the photo. And so for the longest time, I was like worrying about how to do that. And now I just take a little bit of fiber optic and I put a little bit of ground smoke or mist around there. And there you go. You
we all
now
we
problem solved.
yeah, I love mistakes, because I really love mistakes, because we can learn a lot from them, a lot. Maybe, okay, I had this idea,
Okay, that's
this
okay.
wasn't what I have in my mind, but well, I there is a nice texture or whatever here, or oh, maybe I can work trying this thing that wasn't my first idea, but it works.
Yes.
So
No, I couldn't agree more. I actually, it's funny. I keep asking myself, what do I learn more from? Do I learn more from my mistakes or do I learn more from my successes? And obviously, in light painting, and I really want to express this to all the people out there that are starting, you have to enjoy the failures because you're
that's
going
it.
to fail so many
That's it.
times. And it's okay. In fact, if I'm doing if I'm doing the same photo, if you look at my feed and you see the same thing over and over again, that means I'm not pushing myself. And that means that I'm afraid to fail. And so you will see, hopefully, that I'm trying new things all the time because I love to fail. And often those failures are a stepping stone into something that's greater and something that's newer. And when you create something new and fresh, I feel more proud of it. I feel that I'm having more fun. I feel like it's going to make me want to keep painting. And so,
You have to enjoy each step. If you
yeah,
feel like, no, I wanted to do this, but I can't. Oh, this is my third attempt, and oh my God, oh my 15th attempt, and I can do it. No, no,
yeah,
no. You have to enjoy it. If you don't, forget it. Do a different thing. This is not for you. You have to enjoy anything you do. You have to enjoy while you are growing and learning and getting better. That's
yes.
for me. That's the important thing, to have fun.
And that's
I,
the bottom
I
line.
always say that light painting for me is like, okay, when I do some workshop or anything, I say my students or people, it's like, okay, let's play.
Yes,
I think that sums up everything. Let's play, let's have fun.
I agree. I agree because life is short, and I think that like in this quarantine and these times, people are realizing that. So if you're not doing something you really love, and it's not just light painting, just anything in a profession or anything in a hobby or anything to pass the time, if you don't really love it, there's something else out there that you will really love, and you'll be better at that because you really love it, and the
Of
art
course.
will express your love and passion in that, and it's clearly what obviously your art totally expresses that. Um, every portrait I see of yours tells a different story. It has this different mystical, ethereal aspect to it, which I just find so enamoring. I find it's so lovely. Yeah, and I guess we should talk about the portraits. I want to kind of maybe get there in a minute. Um, are there any new techniques or projects that you're working on? Anything you can share with us?
Wow, I've been like, mm, I don't know how to say that, stuck
Yeah.
for a while. Like, my God, I don't have any new ideas. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing that. Maybe this quarantine for me has been like, but
A
I
lot
really
of us.
have. I have a lot of ideas in a notebook, and I need to meet people and say, okay, let's do this, let's do that. But mm, this month hasn't been too good for me for my creativity. I've been
Yeah.
like,
No, you know what? I think a lot of us are going through that. I mean, I definitely ebb and flow. It's something that I struggle with, is that, not feeling guilty when I'm not painting, when I'm not light painting. Because when I'm not light painting, I feel like I'm guilty. I feel like, oh, you're being lazy, you're not being creative. You don't love this as much as you thought you did. I mean, all of these thoughts come in, and quarantine is nothing but exacerbated this or made those thoughts bigger. And so you're not alone. You're not
no,
alone.
I know.
Yeah, not alone. Yeah, we're all going. I'm going through
Oh,
it.
we all have these periods of
Ebb and flow, ebb and
yeah.
flow. And not just in motivation, because I think we're talking about motivation at this point, but also, one of the things as a light painter I struggle with is there's moments of really good light painting execution. And then there's moments of complete and utter chaos. And
Oh,
I'm
of
trying
course. And
and I'm trying
sometimes
to
chaos is like, whoa.
and I'm trying to even it out where it's like I have like really, really good highs and I've got really, really bad lows. And I'm like, where's the middle ground? Yeah, I don't know either. Well, I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring it out. Um, Iris, it's funny. Some light painters have a warm up routine, or they have something to kind of get them in the flow. Do you have a warm up routine, or do you have something that like a tradition that you do, like a process? Uh,
No, especially maybe when I like paint with some friends of mine that like to pose for me. Maybe we have a beer, listen to some music, and while, oh, of course, when the model is somebody new, this is something sacred. They have to choose the music.
cool.
They have to choose the music. No, I don't. I don't care. I don't care. No, no, no. You care. You choose the music. No, 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 no. I want you to feel good. I want you to dance because maybe I can use my music, but you don't like it. I don't care if I don't like the music that you play. I want you to feel great.
Absolutely.
And I think that that works. And it's cool because I find new things to
Yeah.
listen to. So
It's a win-win.
everything works.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah,
I love
that's something that it's a must for me, the music.
Yeah. And are there any helpful hints or any kind of tips or tricks that you would give the audience to, like, for a new model that's maybe not used to working with you, or actually just not even that doesn't really know about light painting? Because, you know, a light painting model versus a normal model or a fashion model or a runway model, those are all extremely different types of models.
Sure, sure. Well, I always try to explain them beforehand what is like painting about. Okay, this is not that usual photography. This 2 minutes and you have 300 pictures. No, no, it's like maybe 2 minutes and half of a picture.
Yes.
You have to stand still, don't move, blah, 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 but they usually get it really fast. And as far as it was my experience, it was all my models were really good
Yeah.
and didn't move. Maybe it's impossible not to blink when the
Yeah.
torch goes through your face, but
Yes.
that was the biggest of my problems.
That's
So
that's pretty good, actually. Yeah. And I think everyone deals with that. You know, I try to, like,
yeah,
you know, because you don't want to light the model from the side, or maybe you do, right? To get like a half shadow, that would be kind of a cool effect. But if you really want a nice portrait, you don't want half their face in the dark. And so you have to shine it directly in front of them, which obviously blinds them, you
it's
know?
it's
Yeah.
so hard. And I know you have been a model and I have been a model for light painting, and it's really hard to not to blink. It's an instinct. So
Yeah.
you can
And
help it.
And I think it's so important for light painters to actually flip the reverse and actually model, because
Yes,
it's always better to walk in somebody else's shoes,
yes.
and you're like, God, this guy's taking forever. Why is he not finishing this light painting? You know, like I do really, really long light paintings. Sometimes I do like 10 minutes or 20 minutes, one
Oh,
photo, which is crazy. And I often don't include models in those because those are my free art. That's me just jumping into the nothingness of the void and pulling out something that's artistic. But for a model, I have like this about 20 seconds to 30 seconds is about my max, because I can't really find a model that's going to want to stand there and let me do all the stuff. And so I guess my question to you is, you know, when you have something that's a little bit more complicated or longer lasting, do you light the model first, have them exit so they can actually relax because they're already burned into the frame? Or do you wait to the last minute, do all the stuff around, and then put them in and then burn them at the
no,
end?
no,
Which,
no, no. I have to look at the framing to see that the pose is okay, focus everything, and light. And if if I have to do something in the background, maybe with some plexi rods or something, they have to stand still. But it may be 30 seconds,
yeah,
40 seconds as
yeah,
much. I like to be okay, fast, 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 fast. So they move, and afterwards, maybe it can take 1, 2 minutes for me or 10, but they are relaxing. They don't have to be like for 10 minutes because it's
yes,
hard to stand like this, not moving any single finger. Oh, no, no. So I like to be quick.
Yes, and I think that's the actually key to really good light painting is actually how quick can you be for everything and how precise can you execute the vision? Because you can be quick and then hurry up and do in chaos, but now you're scribbling versus, you can be quick but also do like very intricate rows of flower coming up around them, but be quick about it. So I'm always doing practice techniques of
Yeah, you have to
how quick
practice
can I
and
be,
know.
and that's actually the key is how much can you fit into a short amount of time, and that's light painting in
Yes,
a
yes,
nutshell.
yes. It is.
I love it. I love it. Well, I want to talk a little bit about the Festive Photo. I want to talk a little bit about Light Up Berlin. Can you share some interesting memories of both of those? Let's start with Festive Photo first. Give me some highlights. What was your favorite thing about this? You're an amazing teacher, by the way. You're a natural teacher.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Festive Photo was a great experience. It was the first I don't know how to say the conference meeting that they made, and it was the very first and all about light painting. Okay, all in. They played all in for light painting,
I love it.
and they did it brilliant. Everything was great, great. Not because who we were speaking, but no, just kidding. But the guys who the organization and everything, they did it so brilliant, and it was great to meet our friends, to meet new people or people that we used to talk via Facebook, Instagram, or so. I don't know how it is over there, but here in Spain, it's like we are like a family. We are like a family, and it's always great to meet and gather and have fun. We have
Yes.
fun. We have fun.
I love
That's
it.
it.
I love it. I know. I've been talking. I did an episode, and you probably saw it with Frodo and Patri, and I just loved them. And obviously, I want to come to Spain and
You
have
should.
fun, have fun and
You
paint.
should.
I know. I know. I know. Like,
My
I can't.
house is your, mi casa es tu casa.
Igualmente, igualmente. I love it. I love it. Well, I've got some family in Paris, in France, and I know that's not very far, so I might be able to do both countries.
Wow, it
Um,
would be great.
Yeah, it would be great. I would love that. In fact, actually, that's going to happen. It's going to happen. I don't know when.
You should.
No sé
4
cuándo.
years ago, I spent 15 days with the French people,
Yeah.
and it was best summer ever.
Uh,
15 days, 13 nights doing light painting. Super crazy. With Estabo, Mas, Dilis, Audrey Pom, Janet Manso, Palates, Bas,
yeah,
everybody. It
yeah.
was amazing. You should go there, and after that, Spain. Bah!
I love it. I love it.
Perfect plan.
Well, we'll plan on it. Give me a couple months when this travel gets a little bit better.
Yeah.
Speaking of some of those amazing artists and amazing names, Light Up Berlin obviously comes to mind. With Paula and I just even the last one. You actually had a course. You taught there. You actually taught the sheet technique, which I would like to get into a little bit later in the podcast, or do it now. But yeah, how was Light Up Berlin? Again, you have all of these just amazing artists in one spot.
It was amazing. It
Yeah.
was, yeah, mind blowing. People from everywhere, Australia, everywhere. It's insane. I can't even talk.
Yeah.
It was amazing. They did a great job there. Sven, Gunnar, everybody, they did an amazing job. The place was awesome, awesome. It was a pity that it was only one day. It
Uh,
should be maybe 1 week. I don't know,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
Berlin is huge, and the place that Light Up Berlin was donde era was in. It was worth it to spend maybe 2 3 days in it. Amazing, amazing, and people were so we felt at home there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was great, great. I wish they could make it happen again because it was amazing.
I do too. I do too. And Dan Roberts, they want to do something like Light Up Colorado, where maybe some of the European artists will come here, and it's not so hard for us to travel so far that way. And maybe
Yeah,
every other year would be nice, like United States, Europe, United States, Europe. That would be really awesome. Not sure it's
that
going
would
to
be
happen this year.
great.
I hope it will. We'll see. I think that's planned in September. It'd be awesome to see you there. I definitely plan on going if I'm in the United States. I might be in Europe by then. We'll see. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I can't wait to meet some of those artists. I've met a handful of them, but I have not met all of them. I would love to collab on anything. I feel like my painting is to the point now where I can probably collaborate pretty much with anyone, and
Sure.
make it make sense. Which of course, as a starting up, as a light painter, I was a little bit worried about going to a big thing and collaborating with big
In
artists.
the
And
end, it is a
for me,
big family.
yeah,
This is a big family. It's
I love it.
you
I
will
love it.
feel at home uh, for sure.
There's no better feeling than that. And I think the common thread between light painters that we're all kind of alike. We're all very friendly and accepting and creative. And you get that kind of feel. How can you not love? How can you not? Well, it's just amazing. Um, yeah. So I hope Light Up Colorado happens. Um, One of the things I want to talk to you about is the magic, which we kind of share in pregnancy photos, and how beautiful it is to paint magic around an unborn child, around an expecting mother who is naturally, beautifully glowing so much
That's
in
it,
this
glowing.
time. We are capturing this magic between a mother and a child and a father, and an expecting father. If the father's around and there, wow, what magic is this? How important? Do you have a favorite memory of one of your pregnancy shoots that stands out?
Sure.
Yeah.
My favorite one is the portrait I did to my very 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 best friend, and it was a white background portrait, so simple, but with black clothes instead of white ones that I used to do with my
Yeah.
my sheet technique. It's so simple, that picture, but I really love it because I love my friend Paula so much. So it was a very very important moment for me, and I really like that picture.
Yeah. Have you been drawing any dragonflies? I don't remember how to say it in Spanish.
Libélula.
Yes. Yes.
Libélula.
Yes. Beautiful.
I did it at first, but not no. I haven't drawn any dragonflies lately, and I would like to do a huge one, because I always do like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
small, and my birds are like
Big.
huge.
I
So
love
I would like to have some details on the wings, or some fading colors on the body or something. I don't know, but I would like to draw something really big.
Yes. And when you talk about how big they are, can you give us a reference? I mean, like, do you take up your full black sheet like behind you? Would you be like a 6 foot, eight? Is it what, 2 meters? 2 meters?
It's, I think this is 2 meters.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe birds are like 1.5 meter wide,
Wow. Cool.
and height, one maybe,
Yeah.
because this is my preference.
Yes.
And floor is the other, the limit. The floor is the limit.
Awesome.
Yeah, so the little hummingbird, yeah,
Yeah.
is like almost 2 meters wide. It's
Oh,
not
that's so
so
cool.
small.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I
So yeah.
haven't drawn. I actually did a watercolor light painting, which I'm not sure if you understand what my watercolor is, but I take the black fiber optic and that's all you use. It's just black fiber optic the whole time. If you want to do a line, you have to actually, put the fan. Yes, you have to do lines like this. It's a very challenging but rewarding also technique. Now that I'm drawing flowers, I'm thinking about actually maybe doing a flower over here on the left side of the frame, and then doing a hummingbird or a bird approaching it, or a butterfly that's approaching the flower. I'm finding that the more I can make my art look as realistic as what really happens in nature,
Hmm.
the more that I find that I'm appreciating it, or the more it actually, is starting to progress into something that's more relatable, I guess, to the audience.
Huh?
Let's talk about this new flashlight from Light Painting Paradise. Do you have it yet? It's the
Not
one that's
yet,
just coming
not
out.
yet.
Okay.
They are arriving on Tuesday.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I can't
So
wait.
I'm looking
I know that.
forward to having it in my hands, but not
Yeah,
yet.
I know. I can only imagine the possibilities that are going to come out of your studio from this thing.
I've worked with the previous one, the one that made Dennis you,
Yeah.
and it's a really good one. But this new torch has different some different changes, and it's
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm looking forward to, I believe it's the only torch out there that can actually adjust the strobe frequency as well as the brightness, the luminosity,
Yes,
intensity.
that's it. That's it.
And I don't really paint on strobe too much. I do when I want to do a snake pattern. If I'm drawing a snake, I'll do it. If I'm doing a tube spin and I want a fan, I'll do it then. But other than that, it's a little bit too hard to control. I like a lot of control in my art.
I
If
know
you
what you
notice, I have a
mean.
lot of detail in my art, and I need an on-off exactly when I want it, which is why I love Light Painting Paradise Pencil. Is what I told Ivan. I was like, Ivan, I love this thing because the on-off is so perfect, and there's so many different color changes in it. How could you go wrong with this pencil? It's the best thing that I've had in my hand for a long time.
That's what I like because I do super fast with the this button. It's like super fast
Yes,
and switching color. No, no problem.
no
I
problem.
think I never use this other one. Is always.
Let's talk about the sheet technique. I think this is a good time. We're halfway through the podcast. Can you go through a step by step of what it consists of, and then maybe some things to remember while other people try it that work and what doesn't work?
Well, it's really easy. In fact, at first, what I used to do was okay. This is I don't know how to say that in English. Tool
Yeah,
en español tool.
we call it tool. Yeah,
Uh, like a wedding.
fail.
Yeah, that's it. So at first, what I used to do was like throwing up in the air and with a flash.
Cool.
But okay, I've been working on different things with this, and I think I became maybe lazy or maybe effective, you name it. And as I wanted to do it faster for my models and everything, um, I began to do it closer to the lens so I could fill the space faster.
Yes.
Because if I had to do this like this, do a long time, and like this, you can see.
Yes.
Um, so what I used to do with the closest technique, I use this RGB 10 color
Yeah.
flashlight, and it's not so bright, but it doesn't matter because I work so close to the lens. So
Yeah.
what I do is set the color, and I see whenever where I want to paint with the blue or the pink, and that's it. That's so easy. Okay, it depends. It doesn't work. Well, it can work, but if you paint with the flashlight from the front,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have a texture, a nice texture. So it's
Yeah.
nice. It's nicer. It's cooler if you do from the side. Okay, this from the
Yeah.
side, or maybe from the
Okay.
background or down,
Cool.
just like that. It's
Yes.
so easy.
Yeah. And then and
It's
then
super easy.
how do you get the sparkles? How do you
Ah,
the
yeah, I have
sparkles?
this
Because I see sparkles.
other
I see sparkles
fabric.
and I think of you. I see sparkles and I am thinking of you.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yes.
This other fabric. I don't
Okay.
know how to. I found it in this um, €1 store where you can find everything,
Yeah.
and this was something for presents or Christmas presents. I don't know. I couldn't find it anymore.
Yeah.
This
It
is,
looks like
I don't
spider.
know if you can see it, like the texture.
Yeah.
It's
It looks
like
great.
a net. It's
Yeah.
silver, so simple, but okay. The same with the other fabric. I work with this.
Close.
Okay, with this I have to use a black glove because
Yeah.
my hand would be on the picture, and I don't
Yeah.
want that.
Yes.
So black glove, everything black, and I take. Oh, sometimes I do like this because it's easier.
Uh-huh. Yes.
And
I love it. I love it.
yes, because it's like this. My hand will be. So I use the torch like this, pa pa pa, super quick,
Yeah.
and the dots came from the reflecting fibers.
Yes. I love it. I love it.
Sorry for the bad explanation.
No, that's great. That's great. So we got the two different ones, and then as far as lighting the models always last, and you'll just
No,
hit the
no, first, the
first.
model is the first thing.
Okay. Okay. And then
And
the approach
then
the camera with the sheets. Yeah.
and
Cool.
then okay, you can move and you
Yeah.
can enjoy watching me doing the crazy
All
things.
the time.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, when I was inspired, we were going to try to do this podcast maybe a month or two ago, and then quarantine hit, and I kind of wanted to take a break from season one, and I did 19 episodes straight, and it was a lot for me, so I wanted to take a little break. I wanted to, everyone needs breaks.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I was in my bathroom, of course, because we're in lockdown, and I saw I have a clear plastic shower curtain. And I was like, oh, this reminds me of Iris. There's a curtain sheet here, and there's light behind it, and I have space from my shower, my bathtub. So I was like, oh, I'll just go grab my camera and I'll grab a couple light painting tools, some light painting paradise pencils, and let me just go doing some things. And then, I'm in there and I've got the steam going, I've got the hot water going, the room is full of steam. So that actually added a whole nother layer of like fog, which was kind of cool. But I think I told you in a message, I was like, I got done with the full series and I was like, oh yeah, that looks so good. And then you get them into the computer, you're like, oh, maybe that's not so good. But I did one I'll share with you. It's okay. And that's not
But you
about being
get
good or bad. It's
ideas for
about
the
doing.
next time. You
Yeah.
have to improve them, and it's like, okay, this may work, this not. Okay, let's do
Yeah.
it.
No, it was funny. And the one thing I didn't realize about shooting in the bathroom or with actually the hot water on was that my lens was totally fogged up, the lens. And so the picture in itself is just nothing but fog, right? And then you see light painting in it, which is, it's good, but I like a little bit more detailed.
Yeah, maybe
And so
something that
just,
you can recognize.
yes. Oh my gosh, it was good. It was good. It was good. Okay, well, I know that you wanted to maybe talk a little bit about a photo of mine. Do you have one in particular that you want to talk about?
Yes,
We have
great.
time to talk about anything.
I like. Well, I send you three pictures.
Yeah, I have.
I like to ask about. I think the title of the pic, that picture was "The Easy Path leads to Nowhere." How
Mm,
did how did that idea came out,
yeah.
and the
Uh,
writing and everything? I
well, the funny thing about
I
that.
wonder a lot of things about that picture and
Oh,
the title and everything. It's like, this
thank
means
you.
a lot, I think.
It does actually, and it was a time. It was a pivotal point for me in light painting where I've been often blindfolding myself, and so I did that full series. I stopped at 10, but I did 10 consecutive paintings just like this. They're all a little bit different. I did them all blindfolded, so I could not see. I used my body as spatial recognition the whole time. I had my finger on the remote of the pencil, and so I knew I memorized what color is in what order, and it's because I can't see, and so I know that I'm going from the top left is like red, and then it goes to green, and then there's like the red that goes down into oranges, and all the purples and so I know where the color pattern
You
is.
learn it,
I learned it.
yeah.
And so for that one, I was in my reflection pond here in my house. I recently saw the documentary from Alex Honnold. I believe it's a free climbing. It's called Free Solo, and this is where he climbs massive, massive rock walls without a harness.
Ah,
And
I
and
know,
so
I know
yeah,
you.
it's a great movie and it's super inspiring. And so for me, I was like, how can I apply that to light painting? And I wanted to push myself. I wanted to push my limits. And so I basically put the blindfold on. I said, okay, I know where the floor is, and I know that's where I'm going to start. I also kneel. And I'm going to put a tutorial out about this soon. But I kneel down in the center of the frame or where I want the painting to start, and that's my base. And so just like you would see from like Sam Mass, he usually starts from a base and he builds up from this. Obviously, I learned that technique from him, and so I took that knowledge and I just basically let my mind carry me to another dimension, honestly. And I just kept writing. I do a lot of pen work with writing and symbols and hieroglyphics and different things. And so basically, I just kind of combined all of that. Where I was like, okay, I'm going to make a base. I'm going to draw some interesting symbols.
They
And
look like math, science. I don't
equations.
know how to say
Yeah,
that.
it looks like mathematical equations, and a lot of
Yeah, thank you. That's
and,
it. I
and a
can
lot
say
of them are actually a lot of them are real. They actually are not just arbitrarily written. They actually do make sense of what they're saying.
okay, okay. That's what I was wondering. Is I know this picture has something to say.
And I kind of made it a point to my art needs to say something. For me to really to go deeper into my art, I needed to go deeper into myself, and I needed to push my boundaries. And so that was a way to not only prove to myself that I could paint blindfolded or not being able to see what I'm doing, but also just to see what kind of mathematical equations will come out of the nothingness. It was a really cool experiment. I really encourage people to not be scared of the blindfold. It extremely teaches you spatial awareness. It teaches you to learn your body,
That's
and
it.
you
Light
know,
painting, it's about being blind. People used to think that I used to work with Olympus and I can see what I do. And people used to think that, okay, it's so easy because you can see what you do. Oh, no, 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 man, no. If I do look at the screen,
It goes.
No, nope, no, no, no. I have to focus. Okay, this is my reference. I work on this, not on the screen. And when I look at the screen, okay, shit. No, no, no. Maybe I can look. Did I miss it? No, no, it's working. Okay, let's go on. Let's go on. But not. I don't use the screen to know. No, I have to put a wing here. No, I have to know it beforehand. To know
Yes.
it beforehand, because you are working in the darkness. That's it. Your body and your hand are your tools in the space. That's it. You can see it. You
Yeah.
can see it.
And no, you're absolutely right. And I've never worked with live composite. I know it would help me a lot, especially in my longer light painting compositions. But I can take. I don't shoot with live composite. I don't use an off screen. I do it all by memory. I do it all freestyle in the moment, and I can take that art anywhere. I don't need to take my screen with me out into the forest or nature. I don't need to take. You know, I just take my camera and one little pencil, and you're making art.
That's it.
It's super easy. So yeah, it's been super fun. That was an interesting project. I want to get back in to doing maybe more of those. Yeah, one time I just did uh, probably about 20 minutes, and I started in the top right of the frame, and I just drew light codes in columns, and there's probably I just did back to back, and I was like, okay, if they're about this far, I know I got to scoot over to this far to do the next column, and I scoot over this far, and so I just basically went from top to bottom, all of this different. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Honestly, my wrist hurt. Yeah, because my arm was I was kneeling down and I was reaching above me, and so by the time my shoulder was actually sore, I was actually making myself sore from light painting, which is kind of crazy. But
Oh, there's no pain. There's no pain. I'm
yeah,
having
no
fun.
pain.
There's no pain.
Yeah, it was
Sure. The
okay,
first, the
Iris.
first bird I drew, it took me like 15 minutes
Yeah,
because it didn't took me 15 minutes. I was just having fun listening to music. I was like, oh, let's check. And I was having fun. It's like 15 minutes just doing nothing, but
yeah,
it was amazing for me.
I love it. I love
And that bird is shit, but for me it has
it.
something special because I had so much fun drawing it.
Yes,
Just
I
having
know.
fun.
It's all about having fun, and I think the more you do it, and for me, the more techniques I can learn and to apply and mix and match a little bit of this technique, a little bit of that technique, make it my own technique. I find that keeps me coming back. That keeps me coming to want to do more, um, making more tutorials, teaching more, helping other people be more creative. Because when we have a world full of creative people, that doesn't leave any room for negative attitudes or hurting people or war or things that are destroying this earth. If we can replace all of those negative things with art and light painting and creativity and love,
That would be great. That
well,
would be great.
it'd be so good. It'd be so good. Well, Iris, you mentioned that the models, it was super important for you for them to pick a song. And it's also super important for me to have you add a song to the master Spotify podcast playlist. What one song motivates you, or do you love to light paint to? You can pick one song, and this is a song that's distributed throughout the world.
Okay. I told you that when I have to I can't remember the name of the song exactly. I told you that when my models come home, I always like to ask them to play the music, but when they say I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I have my joker, my card deck. It's like okay, this is a band named Groovy Smalt,
Okay.
uh, Gruvismalt, ALT for. And the song is named Wait for It. I love that. And it starts with a great sentence that it sounds like painting, and you will going to love
Oh,
it.
can't wait. Yes.
Yes. Volume, volume.
Volume.
My accent. Volume.
Volume.
It's the song, and I love because fuck it starts with uh, get ready for a lot of fun and excitement.
Yes.
That's it, and I use it for a lot of interviews and so on because it's great, and I think that's the best song for light painting.
I love it. Well, I'm gonna add it as soon as we get done here. It's gonna go. I'm gonna go find it and I'm gonna add it to the master list. It's
Yeah,
an
I'm going to
interesting
send
mix.
you the link right now.
Okay, thank you.
I
Perfect.
already found it.
Do you ever feel like you're like mentally exhausted after like a really long night of light painting? Like I feel like I'm just like drained, like mentally. I'm just
No, but I talked in fact with Frodo 2 days ago that 2 months ago I felt like I feel like I'm doing the same, and it was in the middle. I was working with two friends in a really cool photo shoot, but in the middle, and I was just working, and was like, I don't know how to express, but it was like, my God, I think I'm, and I felt like quite low at that time, and but.
yeah,
Mm, I don't know. This lockdown hasn't been really good at that point, as we talked beforehand.
yeah,
But yeah, sometimes I felt like I'm doing the same over and over again. But at the same time, I have a lot of different ideas, and it's like, okay, I have to do this, but I'm too lazy right now. I really want to watch a movie,
yeah,
and that's it.
yeah.
So
No, like we said before, I struggle with the same thing, and then I'm trying to, find out. I'm trying to fight myself or trying to tell myself that's okay. That's okay to feel like that,
that's no
during,
problem.
especially during this time. That's okay. Um, yeah,
It has been only a month, it's not a big deal, but it felt like a year.
yeah, yeah. No,
It's like I need to do, I really want to light painting. I really want to do something um, brutal, amazing. But eh, it's like, if I'm going to do something so, I don't want to do it. I want
I,
to do something huge.
yeah,
No, but sometimes you have to work at your own, on your own to achieve that huge thing.
yes, makes
Do you
sense.
understand what I mean?
No, it makes total sense to me, and I think everyone
Sometimes
in the audience also agrees. And it's a process. It's a total
mm,
process, and it ebbs and flows. And I think that's the most important thing is when you're ebbing and you're not flowing, that's okay too. That's natural. Don't feel bad about that. Don't
yeah,
feel guilty about that. Just know that it's part of it, and know that it's going to pass, right? And know that it's going
of
to
course.
inspiration will come. I have to keep telling myself that, and I hope other people do too.
Of course.
Well, Iris, I think that's going to end up being the first podcast of season 2. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. It was such an honor to have you on the show. I love the sheet technique. I think a lot of people are out there doing it. I hope after the podcast, more people are creating art like this. It's a beautiful technique that you made. Um, wow. Thank you so
If
much.
people feel free to ask me anything because I explain it's like super fast and on the mobile phone, like. So I would like to talk about that anytime. So any doubts they can ask. I would love to answer them. And of course, it was a pleasure. It was an honor, such an honor to to talk to you and to be on your podcast in your podcast. Now I'm more nervous than the
No,
beginning.
okay, thank you. No, it's awesome, and we can find your work on Instagram under Shyroii.
Yeah,
I'll put that up in the podcast here.
Facebook, and
Okay,
I'm working on the website. I
cool.
think maybe you can find it, but it won't have
Not
almost
much.
anything because it's
Under
we're
construction.
working on it. Yeah, under
Under
construction.
construction. I love it. I love it. Well, Iris, thank you so much. I really hope to be
Thank
out in
you.
Spain sometime. I would love to
Sure,
meet
you
you
have to.
and
It's a
paint.
must.
Yeah, it's a must for sure, for sure. I can't wait to see the birds that we draw on the trees. It'll be so good, so good, so good. All right. Well, thank you so much. I will
Thank
talk to you
you.
soon.
Bye. Thank
Okay.
you.
Ciao.